is up, YouTube? It's your boy, the Paradox Nerd here, back again with another Hot Toys review. And today I'll be reviewing the Hot Toys MMS 515 Stormtrooper from the Return of the Jedi movie. But before I begin my review, I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Phil Liu from Toys Wonderland for hooking me up with such an awesome price and fast shipping on this guy. And also another quick shout out to my favorite Hot Toys podcast, 6 Scale Scavengers. If you guys are looking for a really awesome Hot Toys podcast, please check them out. All right, guys, without further ado, let's begin this review right now. Alright guys, so let's check out the accessories that come with the Stormtrooper. And as you can see, he doesn't come with much, but to be fair, in the movie he really didn't have much. The only thing I could think of that they could have added to this deluxe version is maybe an Ewok or something. I think if they added Ewok, this deluxe version would have been so cool. But again, depends on how you guys like the Ewok. So if you guys don't like Ewoks, I guess it's a good thing they didn't add it to the deluxe version. Alright, so let's start off with the base. As you can see, the top of the base is sculpted to kind of replicate the floor of the Death Star. So that's pretty cool. And here is his thermal detonator. And there is a difference between the New Hope version and this version. I believe like this is a little bit darker than the New Hope version. But if you guys go to the Sideshow's website, they do have a picture of the New Hope Stormtrooper and the Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper side by side. So you can kind of see the differences between both of them. Unfortunately, I do not have a New Hope Stormtrooper. I did miss out on that. But if you check out the website, obviously you can see the differences between the Stormtroopers. Here is his E11 blaster. So pretty cool. I'm not sure if you can kind of move any parts of this blaster, but I'm not going to try it right now because I don't want to break anything on camera. You get a couple pairs of hands, a pair of fisted hands, a pair of gripping hands, and a gesturing left hand. And it is sculpted really nice, really good detail. And last but not least, this is the accessory that comes with the deluxe version, and it is a light up backdrop. And basically this is the wall that's on the Death Star, and in a minute I'm going to show you guys how to light it up. And if you turn it around, you also get another backdrop that you could display the Stormtrooper with. And I did check if it actually fits a DTOF, and yes, it does, which is pretty cool. I'm really glad that Hot Toys definitely considered that a lot of Hot Toys collectors have DTOFs to display their Hot Toys figures, so they catered to them, or to us should I say, and made this light up backdrop DTOF friendly. Alright, and I'll show you guys how to light it up. You just have to take off this cover slip, and here is a switch here in the bottom. Turn that on, and you can see how nice and bright the light up feature is for this backdrop. And you can attach the base. I'm going to show you guys how. Kind of just have to slip it on like that, and there you go. So pretty cool. All right, so let's check out the helmet for the Stormtrooper. And as you can see, it is a cool looking design. And in my opinion, I like this version better than the New Hope version. Now, there are definitely differences between the New Hope and the Return of the Jedi version of this helmet. And in just a second, I'll point out what I noticed. What I noticed between both helmets is that the frown on this helmet is definitely darker than the New Hope. And also the eyes are pretty much wider and bigger than the New Hope version. And I also want to point out that it is actually slimmer around like the brain or the cranial part of the head, and it gets wider as we move down the helmet. Now in the New Hope version, it seems like it is wider all around, like the top of the helmet all the way to the bottom. So, but yeah, in terms of differences, that's what I noticed. Let me know in the comments below if you guys notice more differences between both helmets. I would love to, hear from you guys about that. As we move down towards the rest of his armor here, man, all I could say is that Hot Toys did a beautiful job with the look of this armor. They definitely did their research to try and make this armor as movie accurate as possible. And I want to just point out some differences between the New Hope and this Return of the Jedi version of the armor. And the first thing I notice is that this trim in the bottom of his chest piece here is more distinct than the New Hope version. And as we turn it to the back here, you can see that the thermal detonator is a little bit more defined than the New Hope version. And also the chest piece, well, the chest back piece should I say, is more defined and has that same trim that you see in the front here and here in the back, as opposed to the New Hope version where it's kind of like less defined and more smoothed out. So that was the one big difference that I noticed between the New Hope and this version. And finally, here is the rest of his outfit, or should I say his armor. And you can see there is a lot of weathering around the shin here. So looks pretty good. But my only gripe is that, they're trying to weather his armor, but you see in his boots here, there's a lot of like inconsistency. You can see the creases is dirty, but the rest of his shoe or boot is clean. In my opinion, should have had a lot more weathering all around the boot rather than having just some dirt in the creases of his boot. It just kind of looks off in my opinion. Alright, so let's check out the articulation, and surprisingly he has pretty good articulation for a Stormtrooper. And I'm going to start off by showing you the neck articulation. You can turn his head from side to side, up, down. So a good range of motion there. You can bring his arm forward, bring it up, bring it to the side just like so. You can bend his elbow just about 90 degrees. He's got pretty good torso articulation, so you could turn his torso from side to side here. For the hip joints, you could actually bring his hips just about so, forward. And you can bend his knee just about 90 degrees. And he's got a pretty good range of motion for his ankle. So here are all the troopers that I own, and wanted to do a size comparison between all of them. And as you can see, the Death Trooper is still the tallest one, and the rest of them are actually kind of the same size. Now let me know in the comments below, out of these four, which one is your favorite trooper design? For me, my favorite trooper design is still the Shore Trooper. So here are my final thoughts for the Return of the Jedi version of the Stormtrooper. This figure took me by surprise because I wasn't expecting much, because you know, it is a Stormtrooper. But Hot Toys outdid themselves by making this as movie accurate as possible, so you could see all the differences between this armor and the other versions of the Stormtrooper armor. Now, if you don't have a Stormtrooper in your collection, definitely pick this up. If you already have one in your collection, you could either do two things. You could either pass or only consider picking this up if you are a huge Star Wars collector or a Stormtrooper collector. As for deciding whether or not to pick up the deluxe version, I am a huge fan of deluxe versions of figures, and this definitely warrants a consideration. But definitely won't hurt you in the long run if you do decide to pass it up and go for the regular version. Alright guys, so that wraps it up. Thank you guys again for checking out my video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And always remember to do what you love and love what you collect. Take care guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.